Hi, my name is Rami Desai. I'm a part of the brilliant team that is Morpheus, that's led by my colleague. We came together to build this program, develop this application. It was initially an idea that came from Satyam. He comes from a tech background, he comes from an innovation background. What we thought would be really interesting is to have an application like this in developing countries, in countries that may have a use for new educational data sets which they don't have already. I come from the policy background. Satyam comes from the tech background, innovation background, like I said before. So us coming together to create this team works really well. One of the ways that Morpheus can be used in the future is through collecting data, and my expertise lies in conflict zones, is in collecting data sets and looking at societal transformations in conflict areas through the application. This will allow communities, societies, NGOs, policymakers, governments to actually create interventional policies in areas like this with being armed with knowledge that they need to produce really on-ground, impactful, effective policies. We are happy to invite all sorts of people to come on our platform, to come on our team, and make Morpheus into the first application of its time that can have multi-usages across spectrums, not just, like I said earlier, in developing countries, but also in other areas. My colleague Satyam will explain that in just a moment.
Hello, my name is Satyam Mohla, and I'm the founder of Morpheus. Morpheus is a project where we are trying to improve the discussion around digital ethics and develop tools that can help education around these topics. So we developed this tool called Morpheus, where we basically force people to make choices around use of AI in certain contexts. But the tool is not just about education, as Rami mentioned. We want to generate a lot of discussion around this by developing education toolkits, but also innovation toolkits where this can be used to promote technology for good conversations with startups, with future founders who will build new technologies. And that's what's somewhere motivating our mission. If we're able to train 1 million leaders who are policymakers, who are founders, who are engineers for tomorrow, I think we will have a much better chance of creating generational impact. So we are also in conversation with some accelerators and venture partners who are considering developing modules around Morpheus to do new technology development. Accelerators believe that our tool can be a good way for startups to think, to invigorate that discussion among founders who are often too excited about the technology, but often miss the big picture around society and the people. So initially, we are focusing on using this tool for high school students and graduate students in colleges. But our tool is easy to understand for the general public also. So we also want to release this later into the public. All right, so Morpheus uses psychological nudges like first choice testing and cultural hooks, where we present two choices to the user. And this is again coming from Morpheus from the movie Matrix, where Neo is offered the choice whether to use or not to use the red pill and the blue pill, the conventional one. And we are kind of using that cultural hook to kind of make it very easy for the user to understand that they have these two choices, whether to use AI or not to use AI. But we have noticed an interesting behavior when you give someone that kind of a choice. People, when you draw these kind of boxes, people often try to make choices that are not there. So they try to make choices that also use AI but also not use AI. They kind of mix those choices. But the key thing is the moment they start thinking about the choices that are not on the paper, that are not red and blue, but something in between, they're already achieving our goal of kind of thinking about the problem. So they have already proven that model Morpheus is able to invigorate that conversation. And then we also always put these conversations or these use cases in the context of the countries. For example, we have use cases from Japan, from South Africa, from India, and they vary across sectors. So they're relatable, and they also tell an interesting story to a user, to a student who probably hasn't visited Japan, but when he reads the card, he wants to visit Japan and know more about the culture. And I think by using these various hooks, we are able to ensure that our game remains interesting for them.